right now at 6.
We need all fire apparatus we can get. The house has exploded.
New information emerging about the suspect in last night's Arlington house explosion. This tonight as 7 News asks if social media posts raised any red flags about the person inside.
I'm tracking a few rain showers now. I'll show you who could see a few wet snowflakes.
Plus, staggering new absenteeism numbers for D.C. schools. And fear of violent crime could be one reason. Parents tell 7 News the length some families go to make sure their kids get to school safely.
Right now at 6, we are getting more clarity about what led up to this explosion that rocked North Arlington and the man who police say was responsible. Police identified 56-year-old James Yu as the suspect. They say human remains were found in the rubble. But there's also a lingering mystery as firefighters revealed gas to the home was turned off before that blast. First responders also described at least 10 households that needed assistance in the wake of the damaging blast. Now, 7 News is on your side with team coverage tonight, digging into unanswered questions and hearing from neighbors. I-Team investigator Scott Taylor is looking into recent social media posts about neighbors and conspiracies, but we begin with Tom Rousey. He is in Arlington, and the new information he has about how it all unfolded. Tom?
Hey, Michelle, as you mentioned, still a lot of mystery surrounding what caused this explosion. However, I can tell you both the ATF and FBI have sent experts on bombs to the scene tonight. Also tonight, police still have a large area cordoned off around this home. You can see that officer's car not far from where the home blew up. A lot of folks in the neighborhood just stunned that this would happen here. They all heard it and they all felt it.
At a press conference this afternoon, the fire department said they turned off the gas at the meter before the explosion. And they evacuated neighbors before the explosion, which they say likely saved lives. Police say this all started when the man at the home, James Yu, fired flares into the air yesterday afternoon, then would not communicate much with police when they were called to the home. Police say they got a warrant and came back last night, and officers were trying to execute that warrant when the explosion happened.
Much of our effort was to engage him in communication and have a conversation to try to bring this to a very peaceful and voluntary solution, but the communications were not successful, and he was not particularly cooperative when communicating.
They told him they're going to go into the window because he didn't come out. So they were getting ready to go into the window with the wrecking bar, and that's when the house blew up. That's when everything went boom. I mean, it was just shell-shocking. I mean, it rocked you to your core.
Authorities are warning this could be a long investigation. They say it's very complicated, in part because there was such a large debris field from the home that blew up. Reporting in Arlington, live, I'm Tom Rousey, 7 News.
Thank you. And neighbors are still feeling the impacts of last night's explosion. Many homes were damaged and some will have a hard time getting home because of the scope of this crime scene. Debris from the explosion covers the neighborhood. Dozens of neighbors were out surveying the damage, talking about the impact they felt when the explosion happened. Many thought something happened at their own homes before they went outside and saw the flames.
On the couch, I kind of physically recoiled from the shock of the explosion. I had no idea what it was. I quite literally thought maybe there was a car that had ran through my living room because it was that just abrupt.
This is I was so scared. It took me a while to fall asleep last night.
Red Cross told us that this afternoon the disaster action team is assisting neighbors who were impacted at a reception center, providing food, water, and emotional support. This is a look at the street and duplex prior to the explosion. Google Earth showing the tree-lined brick home neighborhood there. You can see why firefighters say evacuations saved lives in the situation with all those bricks and debris just sent flying. This certainly could have been a lot worse. 7 News is asking the question tonight, though, who is James Yu, the man at the center of this? Investigator Scott Taylor did a deep dive into the man and found some red flags. Scott, what'd you find?
Michelle, we did realize that early this morning police were at his house for noise complaints in the past, but so far we can't find any criminal record. But when you move over to social media, issues start to pop up. James Yu is 56 years old, and according to a LinkedIn page, he's a George Mason University graduate with a degree in information resource management. Self-employed as a landlord, he worked at tech companies in Rochester, New York, and in Reston and Crystal City, Virginia. If you dig deeper, there are some interesting posts. Defund the FBI and CIA are posted, along with Purge All Spies. There are claims next-door neighbors and their children are spies, and those neighbors are planning to attack on Thursday of this week, December 7th, on the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. There's also a post about neighbors following you around the nation for years.
We are aware of concerning social media posts allegedly made by the suspect, and these will be reviewed as part of the ongoing criminal investigation.
Police arrived at the house after reports someone shot off dozens of flares. Purchasing and owning a flare gun in Virginia is legal. It's called a visual distress signal under law. There is no waiting period, and flare guns are typically used by boaters to produce a distress signal. But flare guns can be used to set off flammable material too. There are kits where you can modify a flare gun into a weapon that shoots bullets. The ATF considers those type of flare guns to be actual weapons. So if you're wondering about that flare gun, well, you can actually purchase one online or at any store that sells outdoor safety equipment. They go for right around $100. For the I-Team, Scott Taylor, 7 News.
Scott, thank you. And you can find all of our original reporting on the Arlington explosion on WJLA.com right now. It is our top story on our homepage. You can also click through our growing photo gallery from the scene. There are really some incredible pictures there.
Winter weather advisories. Yes, we've been talking about the chance for a little bit of snow coming our way. Those winter weather advisories, only a handful, and they're far west. Garrett County down toward Grant County. That's Garrett County, of course, and Maryland, and some of the high spots around Rappahannock and Page County for tonight through the day tomorrow. So what's happening right now on radar? Some rain showers already showing up. That's the green that you see from Baltimore to Frederick, Maryland to Winchester, Virginia, and Woodstock. It's all part of this latest weather maker. It's set to quickly move through our area in just hours. Throughout tomorrow morning, it'll be moving through and moving out. Front Royal, you've got some rain. Winchester, too. A little bit in the way of some snow showers now around Cumberland. I'll see if I can pick that up with any of the cameras that are out there right now. So in terms of how much we're going to see, very light coating maybe in some of the high spots around Luray, but for rainfall, a few hundredths of an inch of rain. That's weather maker number one. There's another bigger one coming for Sunday. We'll take a look at your weekend. I know it's already in sight in just a few minutes.
VJ, thank you. Students too afraid to go to school. How the youth crime wave is contributing to learning loss. And you won't believe how many students are absent on a near daily basis. Promotions will go through at the Pentagon for hundreds of officers. The Senate blockade ending for most, who will still have to wait, though, in a political battle being waged on the Hill. The Senate just confirmed more than 400 military nominees hours after Senator Tommy Tuberville announced he's ending his blockade on most promotions. He placed that hold 10 months ago over the Pentagon's abortion policy. The stance has left key national security positions unfilled. Now Tuberville says the hold will be lifted for all positions except for 4-star generals. All right, check this out. Today, George Washington University celebrated the holidays with a festive tailgate. It was ahead of tonight's big men's basketball game against Navy. You can see a lot of fans already lining up, and just in time because tip-off is at 7. So the event, the tailgate portion is wrapping up there. There was festive music, a holiday performance, and best of all, a ton of free food. Students love free food. Well, one D.C. high school with nearly 90% of its students chronically absent, and that's an improvement. The startling data and one reason why crime is not just a symptom of absences, but also a cause.
Prior to the deadlines on probation, that children were more afraid.
A rare opinion being shared by a judge in Maryland. What lawmakers are learning ahead of a pivotal legislative session that will focus heavily on crime.
And here's where it's raining right now. Take a look. Rain moving through the northernmost counties of Maryland, out of Virginia, and also down south through southern portions of Maryland. I've got a low chance for a few snowflakes and rain showers early tomorrow morning, but a washout day coming your way on Sunday. We'll take a look at that system, where it is right now, coming up next.
New at 6, D.C. schools reporting startling numbers on absenteeism, and it's actually an improvement. 7 News D.C. Bureau Chief Sam Ford finds crime is not just a symptom, but possible cause of truancy in this crisis in the classroom report.
We can have a student who may have to stay home with their siblings or has home responsibility, it has to go to work.
Cynthia Ruiz, the DCPS Chief Integrity Officer, on reasons why students may not show up for school. It's to the point that 40% of DC students missed 10% or more of the school days.
It is not just a DC phenomenon across the country. Absenteeism after the pandemic is worse than it was before, except in DC it is a lot worse.
The graphic shows the percentage of students truant, that is, absent at least 10 days without excuse. Black last year, an improvement over gray the year before, but blue last year, 88%. McKinley, 34%. School without walls, 1%. Some say it's socioeconomic.
We just had the incident with a student was just shot right here at KIPP.
Asaya Tamimi with her nonprofit Rock Now, referring to a student shot and wounded last week outside KIPP High School in Northeast. She says teens are often fearful and just stay home.
They try to stay in a safe zone. Unfortunately, that means home or in the streets amongst their peers who are also feeling unsafe.
Others have given similar explanations. How widespread the fear is a question.
I have friends who have children and they put them in an Uber every morning and they really can't afford it. But they want to get their kids to school safe and get them back home safe.
Reporting from Northeast Washington, Sam Ford, 7 News.
1 week from tomorrow, the D.C. Council will hold a joint committee oversight roundtable addressing youth safety and behavioral health. We will listen to that closely and see what recommendations come from it. A meeting on juvenile crime just wrapped up in Maryland. The State House Judiciary Committee hearing from several groups that work with youth who have been in trouble and a judge who described current limits on probation. That judge also talked about a lack of implementation of what's called a Child in Need of Supervision petition, or SINS petition, as contributing to crime.
Prior to the deadlines on probation, that children were more afraid of being on probation because it was for a longer period of time.
Why we're not using the SINS process?
It starts off where the police are involved, then it moves to juvenile services. Then at that point, it could even become a petition if there was a child was charged with a crime, and if it's going to be a SINS child, that petition would be filed. And then what ends up happening after that is then finally can be a petition filed with the courts. Now, I've done thousands of juvenile cases, and I have never had a SINS appear in front of me.
Maryland House Republicans, while in the minority, are rolling out youth crime reforms, among them allowing an attorney to be present when police or prosecutors question a juvenile. Currently, parental consent is needed. Another would require anyone younger than 13 using a gun in a crime to be brought into juvenile services jurisdiction. Anyone 18 arrested 3 or more times for the same nonviolent crime would also be brought into DJS jurisdiction. Maryland House Democrats, meanwhile, have not rolled out plans to address youth crime, but State Senator Will Smith from Montgomery County, who chairs the Judicial Proceedings Committee, says he is open to tweaks, in particular to the types of charges a youth suspect under the age of 13 can face. He suggested that possibility after the Montgomery County police chief revealed a 12-year-old was responsible for several school threats that prompted evacuations earlier this year. That the child admitted to knowing that they could not face charges. 7 News asked Governor Wes Moore if that law should change.
Show that 12-year-old be held accountable.
I think anybody who breaks the law needs to understand that there are accountability measures for that.
Governor Moore has not spoken specifically about legislation he will back come January 10th when lawmakers return to Annapolis. We will watch session 2024 closely. All right, let's talk about the weather and the changes ahead for us. We could see some wet weather moving in, BJ.
That's right. By around 7, even 8 o'clock, Michelle, into the district, chance for a little bit in the way of some light showers. 47 to 46 degrees. Our temperatures will be dropping not too quickly, but by morning we will see temperatures in the 30s throughout the area, about 33 to 39 degrees. That's the range that I'm looking at, slightly above freezing for just about most neighborhoods in and around the area. The exception will be west of I-81. Cold enough there, and I do think that there could be some light accumulation in some of the high spots. So a few wet snowflakes for us with just damp, wet roads, and that even is going to be pretty spotty, as you'll see here on the future radar. This is a look at 7 p.m. Some showers around Gaithersburg and Olney and areas like Winchester and Hagerstown. By 11:30, more showers moving through the district. Look at the temperature, too, at 42. No snow there, but again, around Petersburg, Cumberland, there is a slight chance. And by 7 o'clock, not much left at all when the sun comes up tomorrow. Even a few peaks of sunshine possible, with maybe a chance of a little sprinkle or brief light shower around Fredericksburg. So we'll clear quickly here. Northwesterly winds by noon tomorrow, looking okay, and our temperature should be at about 45 degrees. 46 at 3 o'clock. Definitely a cooler day tomorrow. I'm not too worried about any high winds tomorrow, but it could be a little breezy at times during the afternoon that could offer a little more of a chill, again, with those temperatures being down from today. We're right back up the temperatures by the end of the week. This is what I'm excited about. 57 degrees on Friday for Toys for Tots at College Park and IKEA. And on Saturday, closer to 60 degrees. We've got a chance 65, though, for Sunday. Notice the rain falling here. That is the next weather maker. I've been tracking the storm the last couple of days on the maps for you. And by Friday, it's around Oregon, making its way to Oklahoma by early Saturday morning. We're still dry here, but look at the rain for Sunday moving through, starting mid to late morning, and then bouts of moderate to heavy rain, especially for Sunday night and Monday. Monday morning, that system is out of here by around 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning, the way it's looking right now. So it's a 50-50 weekend for us, but again, mild for both days. Temperatures rebound, 65 degrees, and then right back down for Monday and Tuesday of next week, with highs back in the 40s to around 50 degrees.
And now, the Toyota Sports Desk, sponsored by your Toyota dealers.
7 News is on your sideline tonight as the Stonebridge High School football team prepares to play for a state title. We were in Ashburn tonight for the Bulldogs practice as they plan for Saturday's matchup against Maury for the Virginia Class 5 championship. Stonebridge has been one of the region's powerhouse programs for some time now. Saturday will be the team's 12th state title game since 2005.
But, you know, it's very exciting to be able to play in a state championship game because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Not everyone gets to do that, and, you know, it's been our goal ever since the beginning of the season.
A whole new group, and a lot of these kids didn't start the last time we played in a state championship, so this is the first time for all of them, and people think that, you know, you get complacent or anything like that. You don't, because it's a completely new group. They've never done it before. They're excited. We're excited to be with them. New team, so you never take this for granted. It's awesome.
It is a big moment for them. Good luck to them. Saturday's championship game will be played at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville. We will have complete coverage of the game Saturday night on 7 News at 11 o'clock. We'll be right back.
Up now on the screen, the map that shows who can see a few of those wet snowflakes. Same areas, Hagerstown, Maryland to Leesburg, Virginia, down toward Culpeper on west. Just a few, not many at all. 7-day forecast, that system will leave out of here early tomorrow morning around 7, 8 o'clock. 46 your high temperature. We're climbing with our temperatures for the end of the week, close to 60 degrees on Friday. Dry for Toys for Tots, and then rain coming your way for Sunday. Of course, you can check out the map that I just showed you on our free 7 News weather blog.
All right, VJ, thank you. And you can use the First Alert weather app to send us your winter weather pictures. Open it up, scroll down, and tap share your weather photos to upload. Then tune in to 7 News. You might see it right here on TV and also get a shout out. Hey, here's a cool look at Santa Claus. He is at the Fairmont in Georgetown meeting with good boys and girls. World News Tonight with David Muir is coming up next. Be sure to join us back here at 11. Have a good night.